After this, Taz starts feuding with the ECW world champion, Shane Douglas, and Douglas had been out of action for many months with a lot of injuries. And, eventually this becomes an angle where Shane can't wrestle, even though Taz is in line for a title shot. So since Taz can't get a title shot, he's going to create his own title belt, and he called it the FTW Championship. Chat me up. What do you think Jim Cornette would say about the FTW title?
Fun this Wednesday title. I don't get it, motherfucker. How about go fuck yourself?
What do you think of the
motherfucker?
Thank you. What do you think of the concept? I can't get a title shot. I'll make my own. And even calling it the fuck the world championship. That's tremendous.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it was, I go back to Terry Funk when Terry did it in 1978 and
probably in Houston, Texas, right?
No, actually, this is a funny story. Terry got in trouble for it with the NWA. Terry, now you got to think about this. This is like 1978. I'm probably off on the year, and Clint from Hershey will probably say, actually, Bruce, it was 1977 and a half. And but Terry had a replica belt made of the NWA belt. And Terry went and did this whole thing with Bill Apter where he took pictures with the belt and everything and made claim to the world championship. And Terry went around and in the Northeast and different places and going around claiming to be the world champion.
Hang on. He never ran it past anybody in the NWA.
No.
Wow.
And so they got hot because he was using their belt, the same design. It looked exactly the same. And Terry's like, hey, it's just a fucking, it's an angle. I'm making my own belt. Bill, a lot of guys, Moskris had his own belt. A lot of guys had their own belts. Back in the day, and they'd go from territory to territory and defend their championship, drop it, and then always win it back right before they left, and then that belt would disappear. So yeah, it's a tremendous idea. So Ted DiBiase had done it with the $1 Million belt years before that.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys ripped off all that with Ric Flair coming in as the real world's champion, so it's whatever. Taz and Douglas.
That little belt he had, piff.
Fuck off. I do want to talk about Taz in ECW because everybody in ECW wore a lot of hats, and you've heard before that Bubba would say, hey, I help book the buildings, and Tommy Dreamer would help drive the truck, and he was sort of the locker room leader. And Taz ran the wrestling school, the House of Hardcore, and he also did the designs for ECW's t-shirts at the time. When did you know that hey, this guy Taz, there's more to him than what we see just in the ring? He's wearing a lot of other hats in ECW.
Well, I'll tell you the only thing that I really knew, obviously I knew that he was doing the wrestling school because they advertised it on their air, and Paul told me that was who was running their school. And I think Bubba had something to do with that, Bubba and Devon as well. But what I tapped into Taz for was his connection for the warm-ups. The sweatsuits, they look sharp, they look good. And Taz is the one who did all of that for him and would get it. And I remember talking to him at that time about, hey, we want those, we want to get some made for ours. They were really nice Adidas warm-ups and shit, and just never seemed to work out.
It is a cool look. I mean, you saw a lot of the ECW guys wearing that type of stuff, and every now and again you'll see an old ECW original list theirs on eBay.